Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video today. We are going to be continuing to use the new Christmas IOD release on some of our makeovers today. And I'm just throwing in a few paint, wax, and some two-part crackle makeovers on a few items. I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm so glad y'all are here. Our first project is this set of gold framed square mirrors. Just showed y'all the price. I believe it was $149 a mirror. So I'm just going to start by taking everything apart. I just backed out those screws and disassembled the back and mirror piece. And then we're going to go in with our Windex cleaner, give everything a really good clean, getting into those details very well, removing any stickers, and then giving those mirrors a good clean. On one of the mirrors, we're going to come in with Prairie Gray by DIY and give this mirror a few good coats of this paint. As you can see, I'm starting off by pouncing, but then I change my mind. I just give everything a really good coat, and then I go over and pounce. I do zap this dry with my heat gun. Because it is a clay-based paint, it dries very well when you use the heat gun, so it makes an impatient crafter like me very pleased. I'm then going to come in and give just the edges a good second coat, dabbing up and down. So for the back piece mirror that we didn't paint, we're going to use this transfer. This comes out of the Crimson Velvet New Transfer book, and as you can see, it's a solid transfer. With these transfers, you don't have to paint the background because it is solid. You're not going to be able to see any of the background. And they are super easy to transfer. You really just got to work on the edges. So that's where I'm focusing, rubbing that right now. And once you get those edges started, it just peels right off. I'm going to burnish that really well. And then I'm going to come in with my Dixie Belle flat clear coat and give this transfer a good protective finish. So now I'm moving on to the backer that we painted in Prairie Gray. I'm going to center this transfer with this gorgeous kitty cat wearing a Christmas bow, and I did not let my paint dry enough, so I'm struggling to get that transfer down. So that just means you got to rub a little harder and work a little slower. So once I get this transfer started, it does come off pretty easy. I burnished that very well, just making sure it's made good contact with that backing. And then I'm going to also seal this piece with the Dixie Belle flat clear coat. You might couldn't tell these frames finish were just not in the best shape. So I did take them outside and give them a quick one coat of this gold spray paint. Once my spray paint was good and dry, I'm going to apply Fusion's aging wax to my frames. I just mainly want the wax to sit in the deep details to this frame and just kind of make it look more aged and bring out the ornate details in it. So I just buff that wax in, and then I'm going to take one of my blue shop towels and buff off all the excess. The very last step is just to put everything back together. I'm going to put my mirror, or it's not a mirror anymore, my artwork back in my frame, and then the backer, and then tighten those screws back in place. And then these projects are done. I absolutely love how these two frames came out. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I would price these for $12.95 per frame. Our next project is a very easy one. I picked up this Santa from Salvation Army few months ago for $1.99. I don't know if you can tell, but his beard has a lot of damage. So we're just going to use paint to make over this item, some paint and some waxes. So I also want to include these kind of makeovers on my channel. I do not want to be just IOD crafts. I want everybody to be able to get something from my channel. So I hope y'all enjoy these kind of projects too. So starting with a good base layer of Oakum by Fusion, I gave everything about 1.5 coats. I let that dry and now I'm coming in with DIY Vintage Linen. This is the clay-based paint. I wanted to wet distress this in case I got a little heavy-handed with my dry brush, which I did. I'm just using a pretty heavy dry brush, going over all the details to our Santa, his beard, his face, and his hat. I did 1.5 heavy coats of this white paint. I meant heavy dry brush, not heavy coat of paint. I'm doing a little bit more than a regular dry brush. There's still a light amount of paint on my brush, but a little bit more than a dry brush. So once that paint had time to dry, I'm coming in with a baby wipe and just wet distressing some of the high points to his hat. Just want to bring back some of that detail. I let that dry and now I'm coming in with Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat and I'm just going to apply a nice thin layer on our Santa. If I had some spray sealer, I would have used that, but I was out at the moment, so I'm just making what I have work. Our last step is just to grunge our Santa up a little bit using Fusion Agent Wax. I absolutely love this product. As y'all know, I use it in every video. So I'm just going to apply it to the bottom and then I will work my way through the beard, up Santa's face, and onto Santa's hat. I'm going to work in sections though, using my baby wipe to wipe back as much as I want. And that is it for this makeover. I love how our Santa came out. I love the neutral feel and the grunge feel he has now. Y'all let me know what you think about him. I would price him at $14.95. Our next project is this picture I thrifted for $3 and I honestly think it was half off. I believe I remember it being 150. I picked it up a couple weeks ago. We're going to start by giving it a good clean and as you can see someone used a Sharpie on this. That gets on my nerves, but there is a way to get it off. The Windex did not work. So my boyfriend gave me this stuff and what it is just a very strong acetone. It stinks, it stinks, it stinks, but it works like a dream. I just apply a little bit to my blue shop towel and then wipe it right off. This works really good on porous surfaces too, like ceramics. So I don't know if y'all could buy what I just showed y'all. It's like an industrial grade acetone, but as long as you use acetone, it should work like a charm. So we're going to be using a transfer on this picture. I think these red cardinals are so beautiful. So we're going to apply this to the front of our picture. I took that protective backing off and we're just going to try to work patiently getting this transfer down since it is a kind of weird concaved round surface. We got to work in sections, working from the middle and then I will do the left side and then work my way to that right side. And I do want to add, everything looks a lot easier when you're watching it in a video, of course, because of the YouTube magic. I do want to mention that this took about a good 10 minutes to get transferred to this picture. So always remember just to be patient with your projects. And if you love what you're doing, it will all work out in the end. Once I got the transfer burnished really well, I'm going to seal the entire picture outside with Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat. This was a very simple project, but I do love how it turned out. This picture is beautiful, and I know it will make one of my customers very happy this Christmas. I'm going to price it at $16.95. Our next set of makeovers are these Santa mugs. I picked these up all throughout the year. You can see I paid 25 cents to a dollar depending on where I got them from. I just collect them throughout the season, or I mean throughout the year. I collect them throughout the year. And I have always wanted to try this. So this technique we are about to do. So I'm going to start by giving everything a good clean with some Windex, getting all the stickers off. And yes, this would be a lot easier to take them to a sink and use a sink and water and Dawn and a scrubby brush to do this, but I do not have water in my shop and I was lazy and did not want to take these all the way to the house. So I just made the Windex and a blue shop towel work. I gave everything a really good clean and I let the mugs dry for a little while. Now I'm coming in with this spray paint by Rust-Oleum. This is a flat white enamel spray paint, and I'm going to give our mugs from all angles a few coats, just covering up all that color. I did go ahead and spray the inside of our mugs because I will mark these for decor only. I ordered this product from L&J Goods, the Fine Line Crackle, and I have been wanting to try this out for a very long time and have yet to do so. So I knew these projects would be the perfect thing to just try to figure out my technique and experiment a little bit. So after my spray paint was very dry, I'm coming in with the step one Fine Line Crackle and I'm applying a nice thin coat, thicker in some areas, and I am doing kind of a cross hatch motion with my brush. I was very impatient and dried that with my heat gun, and it becomes a little tacky. And then we're going to use a different brush and apply the step two Fine Line Crackle. This has a totally different color. It's more yellow, and I am going to tell you in the next step, I messed up a little bit. I came in with the what's it called? Glaze by Paint Couture, and it did not like that product. So I feel like it was because it was water based. So then I come in with my Fusion Agent Wax, and that worked much better. I just want to work a dark wax or, just something dark into the crackle so it would make the crackle more pronounced. And I love how this crackle looks. I did want to work the wax out of the details of the face out very well because I didn't really want to grunge these up too much. I just really wanted that crackle to be the star of the show. I love how every single one of these came out. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I definitely feel like they are giving vintage Santa mug vibes. I price these differently depending on the sizes, but the large ones I priced at $10.95 and the smaller ones I priced at $8.95. They look really cute paired with the mini Santa mugs from Hobby Lobby. Y'all let me know what you think about these. Our next project, we're starting off with this wood blank I picked up at a church yard sale. I bought several of them for a couple dollars. Gave it a good sand because it did have some sticker residue on it, and I did not want that to show through our paint. We're going to use Fusion Raw Silk and give our wood blank two good coats. Our next step is to cast some molds from the new Santa Sleigh IOD mold. I am using Fabricast resin. I ordered this off Amazon and it is linked in my description box below in my Amazon store if y'all are curious about this resin item. It's a lot cheaper and you get a lot more for the price. So I mixed it equal parts A to B, whisked it for about 30 seconds and went ahead and poured into my mold. I did have to make two batches of resin because my cup was not big enough. And I'm using this little stick to make sure the resin gets into all the details of this gorgeous mold. Within 5 minutes of pouring, your resin is cured and ready to be popped right out. Look at the details of Santa's sleigh. I love it. It is so pretty. I did cast a few presents and this pretty deer. We're going to go ahead and give them a coat of that raw silk by Fusion, just working that paint into the details, and I just gave them about 1.5 coats of paint. For the background and a little interest, we are going to be stamping from the Winter Forest stamp. This is a brand new stamp set, so I'm going to season our stamps with a little bit of used 120 or 180 sandpaper. You only have to do this one time. I determined my layout and I'm going to figure out which items or which stamps are in the front and I'm going to pull the rest. These are the stamps we're going to stamp first. Then we will mask over these to stamp our background trees. I am using the black permanent IOD ink for our stamping today and I'm making sure to put light pressure when I'm inking my stamps so they do not get too juicy. Holding my stamp with one hand, tickling with the other, and pulling that stamp straight up. And then I will clean off the stamp immediately, taking care of it with a baby wipe. I'm going to use my heat gun just to set that ink in because it can take a little bit to dry on its own. And then I pulled out the mask for each tree. Made sure those were lined up good, and then we will work on stamping our background. I want to take this time to thank each and every one of y'all for being here with me today. Y'all support means the world to me. If y'all are enjoying this video, please give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe. I asked y'all to get me to 4,000 subscribers, and y'all got me to 4,500. So I appreciate y'all so much. Once we got our stamping done, it was time to add our gorgeous molds. I wish I had some Titebond Quick and Thick, but I still have not ordered any. So we're just going to use regular wood glue, cleaning up the squeeze out with a paintbrush and a baby wipe. And I chose to use hot glue for our little presents at the bottom of our artwork. The next step is adding some details, and this is always an optional step, y'all, if you do not like to grunge up your projects. But like I said, I love this aging wax, so I'm going to work this wax into the details of our mold and then lightly wax the rest of our board using a baby wipe so I can pull a little bit more of that wax back and just get it to my desired look. I felt like this needed one more detail. We're going to add Merry Christmas using the Apothecary label stamp in a thin mount so I can try my hardest to get the words straight. And I'm going to use the black IOD ink very lightly because these are very small letters, so you want light ink and light pressure when you go to press down. And that is it for our Christmas artwork. I did get the R a little crooked, but that is okay. It is handmade and it is perfectly imperfect. I love how it came out. I would price this one at $25.95. And that is it for today's makeovers. I really, really hope y'all enjoyed these projects today. And if you did, hit that like button, comment which was your favorite down below. And if you got any inspiration from this video today, hit that subscribe button. Thank y'all so much. Bye.